Welcome to the Obvious Podcast. This is episode number 95. My name is Sonny. I'm the COO at ABC Florida East Coast.
And I'm Peter Daiga, President and CEO at ABC Florida East Coast.
You are listening to the Obvious Podcast, or you're watching the Obvious Podcast, where all opinions oh my gosh. You would think it was my first time doing this. You're listening or watching the Obvious Podcast, where all opinions expressed are our own unless we say otherwise.
Love the show. We ask you to subscribe on major podcast platforms or watch us in action on YouTube. Follow the Obvious Podcast on Instagram, X, Truth Social, and TikTok. All the links you need are in the show notes. And reach out to us anytime at theobvious@abcsflorida.com. And if you're enjoying the ride, help others find us by leaving a review wherever you listen. Happy Friday, Sonny.
Happy Friday, Peter.
How are you doing?
Dog days of summer are here.
They are. We're in the thick of it now, huh?
That's right. We are in the thick of it. So what are we talking about today?
We're going to talk about, policy or politics. Is that the...
Yeah. Policy or politics.
Yeah.
All right.
So shall I ring the bell?
Yeah. Let's ring the bell.
Gate, and let's ring the bell. And again, if you want to tell us why you think we ring the bell and you're spot on, we'll give you something free.
Yeah. We don't know what, so it'll be free. It won't cost you anything.
I wanted to read maybe from the bylaws of the association. And
wow.
By the way,
way to make this an exciting show, Peter.
Well, this is from the Articles 1, which is the principles of the organization.
Is this our bylaws or?
And the principles. So these are very similar. In fact, they may be identical in our chapter bylaws and our ABC National. So I'm going to read from the ABC National bylaws.
Okay.
So in our Article 1, so the very first article in our bylaws has to do with the principles of the merit shop. So, now, those that don't know, and I hope everybody does, but ABC is...
we should define what the merit shop is.
Yeah, I think we're a unique organization. I've said this before, every nonprofit or association has to represent its members or its membership. If it doesn't, it's going to be out of business, right? So we all have an interest, but one of the things that I've always said sets ABC apart is that we're not only about representing the interests of our members, we're also about a philosophy. In fact, we coined the phrase. I think this organization coined the phrase, the merit shop. A more traditional definition is maybe non-joint, or joint. I'm not sure where they ever came up with those terms, or union and non-union. But we don't consider ourselves non-union or anti-union or anything like that. We're just merit shop. If you're willing to abide by the merit shop principles, then you're welcome here.
Which are what? What are the principles?
So it's a great question. So, and again, by the way, this is why we've titled this episode Policy or Politics, because it's not politics. It's at the core of our DNA. It's who we are. And I believe we're very true to those original core values and mission of the merit shop. So, So Article 1 of our bylaws say that ABC is the voice of the merit shop in the construction industry, and we assume the responsibility for making that voice heard.
Wow.
Right? So there's a lot of people that can confuse the fact that we're being true to being the voice of the merit shop and making sure that voice is heard as, and by the way, podcasts are some ways of doing that.
Mm-hmm. Literally, our voices are being heard.
Literally. So it's not politics to be true to our DNA and our mission as an organization. That's what a true, good organization would do. Right. So we believe, sentence 2 in the Article 1 is, we believe that the merit shop movement is a movement for the betterment of the individual, the industry, and the nation.
Wow.
Wow. Sentence 3, we believe in the system of free enterprise and open competition.
And that's literally the core of the merit shop.
That is the core of the merit shop.
Open competition.
Meritocracy, if you will, which, by the way, it's beautiful that we're also having this conversation about the merit shop and meritocracy and on the footsteps, if you will, of our 250th anniversary as a country. Because, I think this country embeds or has for most of our history. I think there's some effort and some interests that, are not so interested in maintaining this core value of the country. But I think we've always been a country of meritocracy and merit shop, where your hard work pays off.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Your commitment to bettering yourself, and whatnot. So, I'm now thinking back to, like last week's episode where we talked about, for free education and good guaranteed job offers and whatnot. Anyway, so much about what we do. kind of harkens back to the core of who we are as an organization and being true to that mission and that philosophy. So did I finish that when I started? That every organization has to represent its members, but one of the unique things about ABC is we're also representing a philosophy, that merit shop.
Yeah, our values, the values of meritocracy, open competition.
That's right. Another sentence in Article 1 of the bylaws is, we believe that the destiny of all, this is in our bylaws.
Destiny.
We believe that the destiny of all Americans can best be served by cooperation and following the tenets of free enterprise and democratic government. We believe business leaders can best preserve these tenets by becoming active in politics and civic affairs.
Wow. Looks like Adam Smith wrote that.
Right?
Right? The Wealth of Nations, if you haven't read it.
So, I don't know. I wanted to talk about this today because there's, at times over my
27 years.
27 years at ABC, there have been people that don't either know or appreciate the heritage or the DNA of ABC, and then they might say, "Ooh, you're too political."
Yeah.
It's in our friggin' bylaws.
Yeah.
That we believe people's involvement in that process and defending and believing in free enterprise in the merit shop. And I believe everything we do should be measured against that. Right. If anybody's got a complaint that we're not true to that, bring it. But if we're only being true to that and you perceive it as political or something political, sorry. I mean, you're going to have to get involved in the organization and change the mission statement, change that article of our bylaws.
Yeah.
Bring it to the national organization and change it.
So really, what people are doing is they're confusing politics and policy.
That's exactly right. That's the point.
And that's the whole point of this episode. Is do not confuse politics and policy. So when you're a values-driven organization, and guess what drives you? Those values. When those values are well-defined in our mission statement that's written behind me, they're well-defined in the bylaws. So the pursuit to be true to those values, to be true to the mission, that's our policy. And that is not to be confused with politics.
That's exactly right. And the timing of this, again, couldn't be more perfect because we're in the middle of a big election year. Mm-hmm. We're in the middle of summer, which is a big campaign season in this country, in this state. We recently, as an organization, have, as we always have every 2 years, candidate interviews.
Yep.
We have a questionnaire where we ask people running for office about issues pertinent to us, the construction industry, the free enterprise, and open competition. And we ask them about those issues, and then we interview them about them. And I think where it ties into politics, not confusing politics and policy, is, and I'm going to give you some really good examples of, I think, where we've had people in the past that actually have tried to make it political, and we've avoided it. Because one of the things I make sure I've always told members who are participating in the candidate interview process with us is, your job is to determine and support the candidates who are most aligned,
whose values are most
aligned with these values that we just started off the program reading to you from our bylaws. That's the job of art. It's not to kind of put your finger to the wind and find out who's the front runner, because there's a big tendency to try to do that. You want to be a winner, and you want to get behind a winner, and it's not because maybe they're a 98-pound or 298-pound gorilla that, you don't want to be on the bad side or losing side of. Well, if they're not aligned with us, you do. That's the difference between putting politics above policy.
Yep.
When you're wanting to support candidates just because they're affiliated or because
they're your friends,
or because they're front runners, or because they have a big name, that's putting politics above policy.
Oh, they have the financial edge.
That is open to true criticism in this organization.
Yeah.
But not being aligned with the policies of the merit shop, meritocracy, and free markets.
Very simple.
And that's our only goal interviewing candidates, is which one. And you may find oftentimes that there may be no difference in your mind. Then you can kind of talk about, okay, well, so-and-so is a front runner.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both equally aligned in terms of our mission, our values, and then you can start to have those conversations.
But that's so rare.
But that's right. The first and foremost thing you got to be trying to figure out as an organization, and again, we're constantly reminding our members is because we invest a lot in pursuing and defending
A lot of money, a lot of time,
these values and
blood and sweat. Yep, absolutely. And the thing is, our members and our leadership and our it's all volunteers, right? They're not living this stuff day in and day out. And we are. So that's why literally everywhere you go in this office, you'll see our mission statement written down. It's on, agendas of meetings and everything. So, because we're constantly trying to remind people this is why we're here. Like, why do we exist?
Even on our poster, the poster behind you.
Yeah.
It's even on that, which is a poster we use kind of locally at the chapter, and it's just reflecting really, those bylaws. But what is that line in there?
To promote integrity and ethics.
The merit shop philosophy.
Yeah.
So,
and the merit shop is obviously open competition and free markets and meritocracy.
That's right. So, I think we're very proud of the fact that as stewards, who are given the responsibility of pursuing the mission and values that have been established by our leaders, our industry leaders, that we're very jealously protect,
right?
Those things. And
the one thing I'll tell you,
it hurts when people confuse politics with policy.
Absolutely. But the one thing I'll tell you, if an organization isn't true to its values, there's no way it would survive 58 years. There's just no way. It wouldn't happen.
Sure.
Right? Most businesses can't even survive 5 years, and then those who do have a lifespan of about 42 years. It's the average in this country for a company to survive. And to be at year 58 as an organization, approaching our 60th anniversary very, very quickly, like, it's a big deal. And the record of success we have in every area is really rooted in the fact that every member of this organization and the staff wholeheartedly pursues the values that this organization is based on.
Absolutely.
And we fight for those in Tallahassee and in D.C., we fight for those on the local level and county levels and, state level. We are always talking about meritocracy and open markets and free markets and trying to protect this amazingly proud industry that has done so much for this country. Like, literally.
Amen.
Right? You can't do anything if you can't build. Can't do anything.
That's it.
The building is like the most basic fundamental thing there is.
That's right.
If you can't farm, if you can't...
of that building.
Yeah, exactly.
Whether it's a hospital or whether it's a fire station.
Absolutely.
Or whether it's a school or whether it's
Yeah.
So absolutely. So, and my age old, I think you've heard it from me before. It's always bugged me that the coffee table books are all about the architects.
Yeah, not about the actual,
not about the people that actually built the dream that the architects had. They had to make those curves work and those angles and those connections work and those products or the different materials and whatnot that are being called for in a given project.
Yeah.
Anyway. It's always been a bug of mine. If we could do it,
we should do our own coffee table
book.
Absolutely.
And the cover pictures of the achievements, if you will, of the craft professionals and the.
But I think the cover picture on that coffee table book would be that New York skyline picture with the guys eating lunch.
Yeah,
sitting on that beam.
Absolutely.
I think that's.
Absolutely.
We're going to toss that picture up as well in this episode so you can see it.
World famous, everybody's seen it.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Beautiful picture.
Different day and age. They would never allow that today.
I wish I would have a heart attack if they saw that.
For sure.
So. What do you mean? They don't have a helmet on? From this floor, from this height, it's not going to make a difference.
None of them tied off. Grief. Any event.
But so in terms of why this matters, right? Obviously organizationally it matters. But I think one of the things we need to talk about is when people confuse the two, whether it's staff or whether it's volunteer leadership, when you confuse the two.
Mm-hmm. That's the point of all this.
Right.
So thank you for...
The point of all of this is when that line between policy and politics gets confused, there is a cost or a price of that distraction, because it's a distraction, right? And so when you're kind of sort of plowing ahead on your core mission and you're moving forward and you're achieving success and you're working hard, and then something like that pops up, it diverts your attention and it takes away time and it takes away resources, because then you have to address something that if everybody sort of understood the difference, you wouldn't have to address, right? And I've always said this in every organization I've ever run, that there is always a price to pay for distraction. So let's try to limit our distractions as much as possible. And the single best way to limit distractions is to faithfully and ardently pursue your mission. And you can't have a mission without values, because values and mission are interconnected, right? Like your mission, whatever your organization's mission is deeply tied to a set of values. And if you are not pursuing those values, you are not pursuing your mission, and vice versa. And so that interconnectivity between mission and values, you can't extrapolate the two and then just chase something away and say, I'm going to do this, but not do it this way, because you can't. It's just, it's tied together. So if you don't understand politics versus policy, there will be this constant tension in terms of how you do governance, in terms of how you do management, if you're on staff, in terms of how you achieve your goals, in terms of how you even do your strategic planning. All of it sort of starts to come apart at the seams by that confusion. And so that's one of the reasons why Peter read from the bylaws, is to kind of make it clear that these are not sort of, in the moment thought of ideas or concepts, that these are memorialized.
And by the way, can we post those somewhere in a show note or the article with or a link to it or something? I'd love to do that, because absolutely. I've only read a couple small sentences and
post the whole bylaws in there,
and an extensive article that talks about the values of the organization. So and our principles and what guides us. So and that's the principle that guides us, and promoting those principles and people who and trying to get elected people who will promote them.
And what would you say to leaders who don't agree with those values and those principles?
Oh, there's plenty of organizations that have different principles as their guiding mission. Right. So I would encourage them to find those organizations. Find an organization that doesn't have any necessarily, and that's just interested in representing your business interests. There are organizations like that.
Absolutely.
And that's fine.
And that's absolutely. You don't have to agree with the values. These are ABC's values. And if you don't agree with them, you can go somewhere else.
Yeah. I mean, you should agree with them if you belong.
Right. Absolutely. Otherwise, it's going to be a miserable experience for everyone involved. And what's the point of that?
That's right.
Right.
So, and by the way, I think over the years, that's been the driving reason why so many people have gotten engaged and involved and joined ABC, is because they appreciate the fact that there's still an organization out there that's not just your business interests; those are a dime a dozen. But we're fighting on behalf of this philosophy of open competition, free markets, and meritocracy in the merit shop. It's so rare these days, and I think it has driven membership for so many years. I quite frankly am a believer that the more we disconnect ourselves from that, either as a national organization or as a chapter, the more detrimental it's going to be to the organization and to membership in the long run. So it might take a while, but eventually it will be.
I had a member tell me yesterday, Sonny, the only reason I'm involved with ABC is because I believe wholeheartedly in meritocracy. He said, if ABC ever got away from meritocracy, I would leave.
And they're going to be the most loyal, most engaged members, quite frankly, too.
They are.
So now there are a lot of other values we offer that do benefit you as a business and your bottom line. And I don't just mean the government affairs aspect, because that obviously is policy and also driven by politics in a certain way. When you understand politics to mean the election of people who understand our challenges and our struggles and our issues. So that's the politics the way we mean it. So, but I mean the value of the education we do and the networking and the connections and the relationship building and whatnot. I mean, sure, those things are all of tremendous value to people who join. But I also hope you appreciate, maybe a little more so after this episode, the core philosophy that is at the bottom or at the foundation, if you will, of ABC and why we do everything we do. So
now we have, I know we are out of time, but we do have some Democrats who represent that value. We have a lot of, not all Republicans, but a lot of Republicans represent that value. I could argue that Josh Hawley doesn't represent that value.
Sure. I mean, it stinks that at the end of the show we're kind of getting at that aspect of this, a partisan politics, as opposed to politics in general. And we have been accused by some over the years of being partisan, but quite frankly, nothing could be further from the truth. we don't, and again, as I mentioned earlier, when we do our candidate interviews, we're not asking people to find out which one's the Republican.
Right.
That's easy enough.
Right.
Or which one's the Democrat. We're asking people to find out who is aligned with our values and mission.
Yeah.
All right. That's all we care about. And that is the true definition of nonpartisan.
Yeah.
We don't give a flip about partisanship.
Yep. Absolutely.
What we care about is values and mission. Now, if there's something about the current political culture or environment that makes one political party more aligned with those values, that's not our problem, our fault.
We didn't agree with this.
We didn't. That's right. And if we can find the candidate on the other side that's 100% or more, maybe even 1% more than the other person, and they're a Democrat and the other one's a Republican, then we're going to be with the Democrat.
Absolutely.
It has nothing to do with partisan politics. So, and anybody who makes that kind of accusation, just really invite them to become a little more engaged in ABC.
On that note, we really got to go. So thank you for joining us and enjoying the show. We look forward to bringing you another episode on next Friday.
Take a look at our Article 1 of our bylaws of the organization. So we appreciate your time. And if you want to send us comments, you can do so anytime at theobvious@abceastflorida.com. Until next time, ciao.
Take care.